guys, so today we're going to do a nice little video talking about relationships and dating somebody who's transgender, and it's going to be fun. So a lot of these examples I'm going to use are from my perspective as a trans woman who is also a lesbian, which means I'm a trans woman who's interested in girls. Okay, that's the simple way of saying it. So, if you are a girl and you are like, you see yourself as a lesbian and you're interested in somebody who is transgender, that does not mean that you're straight. It does not mean that you are bi. It just means that you're a lesbian and you're attracted to a trans woman. Same thing if you are a guy dating a trans woman and you see yourself as straight. You're still dating a woman. So, that being out of the way, because it seems like that's a big thing that a lot of people end up having to question about themselves, is they feel like they have to question their sexuality. And there's really nothing to question. You're still interested in women. You're still interested in men. You're interested in whoever you find sexually attractive. That's how attraction works. So just because you're interested in a trans woman does not mean you're all of a sudden going to be only trying to date trans women. Okay? So, moving on. The next thing that's likely to happen is you're going to be talking to this person, and it's going to move slowly because of a few reasons. And these are reasons that are very important and you need to understand them. If you are trying to have a relationship with this person who is transgender, understand that you're probably not going to hook up after the first time you guys talk or the first day you guys are having a conversation with each other. This is both a good and a bad thing, because sometimes you get lonely and sometimes you're like, you really want a relationship and you just kind of, you're like, oh man, I really like this person, like I want to just jump right in. You've got to be careful if you do that. There are a lot of cases of violence and deaths towards transgender individuals going into a relationship without any prior knowledge or much prior knowledge. So most cases, you're going to be taking your time getting to know this person and figuring out where they stand on things. And a lot of that is you making sure that you can be with them and you can feel safe. And if you're the person trying to date the transgender individual, you need to be aware of this too, because you've got to be understanding that we just don't want to die. The world is scary. Like, we don't want to die here, okay? So when people are looking at us and they're saying like, oh man, like, oh, are you playing hard to get? No, I'm playing hard to get killed. So let's be careful with that, okay? Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you for understanding. Now, when you are in that relationship too, you will understand more about the transgender community, what they go through on a day-to-day basis, what their life is going to be. So if they're interested in surgery, what surgeries they want to do, and they're going to want you to be there as support, especially if they are romantically interested in you like you're interested in them. Surgery is a very scary thing for anyone, and for transgendered individuals, a lot of times surgery is your best options to kind of alleviate the dysphoria that you feel. And you as that partner have to be conscious of it, and you have to understand and just be there for the one that you're in a relationship with, whether it's a trans man or a trans woman. So another thing is when you're talking to your friends, you don't need to say like, oh yeah, I'm like kind of in a relationship, I guess. Like it's sort of like I'm kind of in a relationship. You don't need to be afraid or try to hide who you're dating with if they're transgender. You actually like you should be happy to like talk about it and show them off to your friends, because just like every other person that you're dating in a relationship, we're worth showing off. Like just because we're transgender doesn't make us any less in need of feeling like we're valued. Um so yeah. You know, if you're dating somebody who's transgender, just be like, "Oh yeah, this is my boyfriend or this is my girlfriend and they're trans." And it's like, "Okay, cool." Like first of all, make sure that they don't try to kill your transgender partner, whether it's a trans male or trans female. And second of all, you're probably going to start getting questions coming to you, and they're going to be the same silly, ignorant questions that we've been getting since we came out. And you're going to have to start dealing with that as well, because you're dating us. And that might sound annoying to you, and it is annoying to a point, but you also have to understand that we've been dealing with this a lot longer, and we're still going to deal with it more than you will. So maybe your friends are going to ask you, "Oh, hey, man, like, like, so are you gay now? Like, you're dating a trans chick? Like, oh man, you're in that, you're like, do you get it? Like, do they got a dick? Like, man, like, wow, that's crazy." First of all, your friends have no freaking like any right to your personal life and your personal relationships with somebody that you're dating, no matter what. And it's the same thing if you're in a lesbian relationship. You don't need to have people going like, "Oh, so you're straight? Does she like does she like do you suck dick now?" Like no, that's not how this works, okay? So that does not matter. It does not matter what you two do, and anyone who asks you that, just ignore them, because they're ridiculous and that's none of their business. And they might think like, "Oh, well, you're being rude for saying that." No, you're being rude for asking that. Like, how is that anything to do with your business at all? It doesn't. It has nothing to do with your business. You don't go around asking straight couples how they have sex all the time. If you want to talk about it, if you want to talk about your own sexual experience, that's one thing. That just means you want to talk about your sexual experience, and maybe you have like friends that you're close with and that you talk with about that stuff, and that's okay. It's like, it's whatever, fine, you know? I am not one of those people. I usually try to keep a lot of that stuff very, very personal. I might mention one or two things, or I might say like, "Oh yeah, no, like we did this," or like we did something. But I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah," and then all of a sudden we turned down the lights, and then like unicorns came out from the walls, and you had some Ed Sheeran playing. Just all of a sudden Ed Sheeran materialized in the room, and he had an acoustic guitar, and he was just playing for you as you guys had sex. That's no, like the details aren't going to come out. I mean, if that really did happen, though, to be honest, I would probably say like, "Look, okay, I don't know what happened or how it happened, but Ed Sheeran materialized in our room as we were getting it on." Like, come on, that'd be pretty cool. That would definitely be a story. Anyways, so when you're talking with your friends too, you might get the friend that's like, "Oh, you're dating somebody who's trans. Oh, okay, you're into that weird shit. Okay." Yeah. That's another thing, is understand we're not a toy, we're not an object, and we're not a fetish. You can like a trans person without saying like, "Oh yeah, I just want to I just want this one night stand. And that's the thing, is a lot of times dating somebody who's transgender is considered a like a one night stand kind of thing, or maybe like a couple night stands, like, or a couple one night stands. But it's usually described as some, or it's usually seen as something that's like the forbidden fruit or whatever, like something that's taboo, but you want to experience it once just because you want to say that you did it, that you experimented. And oh man, it's so spicy and so, ooh, ooh, so spicy. No, like, come on, that's weird and really creepy. And those transgender people that you're thinking about, that they have families and parents just like you do. And I don't think anyone wants to think about their kids being some fetish or some like kink for somebody. That's kind of weird, right? Like, even you as the individual, like, do you really want to kind of compare yourself to like a fleshlight or a dildo? Like, do you really want to compare yourself to like blow up dolls? Like, come on, like that's so degrading to yourself. And like, if you consider yourself in that same vein as like a sex toy, that's kind of probably not going to be something that you're going to do, because you have self-respect and you have values. And yeah, don't treat trans people, trans men, trans women like we are a fetish, like we're an object, because we're not. We're human beings. Oh my gosh. Wow. So human. It hurts. Another thing is, when you're trying to go out with somebody who's transgender and you guys are going out on a date, picking the right place is really important. You want to have a place where they feel comfortable. There are multiple reasons for comfort. Maybe they don't want to go to some place anymore because they have been approached before by other people and they didn't feel safe there, they didn't feel comfortable. Or maybe they like, maybe you're taking to a place and it's like super, it's just a super awkward environment for them, and they just don't want to, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to try to live through that night. Especially if you guys are going on a date, you both want to enjoy the date, right? That's kind of how that works, right? I mean, look, maybe it's different if you're not transgender, but I'm under the impression that when you go out, for dinner or for a movie, or you guys go out and do something together, it's something you both want to do, and it's something where you guys can enjoy each other's company, right? Okay. It's kind of hard to enjoy somebody's company if the entire time you're sitting here and you're just like, you're eating and you take a bite and you're like, that person is still looking at me. She's been staring at me this entire time we've been eating. That's, yeah. It's a little, I don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't make me feel like I'm having a good time. It doesn't make me feel like I'm enjoying myself. By the way, I love this shirt. It's a kitty cat. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, we covered understanding that certain places to date or to go on dates, certain places they may not feel comfortable with, and you need to understand that and respect that. Also, being asked all the silly questions that we get asked. Don't ever try to complain to them about it and be like, oh man, I had another guy ask me if me dating you meant that I'm gay. I had another guy ask me if I like dick now because I'm dating you. Or I have another guy who asks me, oh man, like, it's just weird knowing that you're into like such weird shit, like you like that freaky stuff. Or you're also getting like, man, so you're straight because you like a trans girl? Like, you know she's probably got a dick, right? I promise you, we've gotten that shit so much. You'll be basically like the you'll just be preaching to the choir cuz we will know. And we know it's annoying. We hate it too. We just have to deal with it a lot more than you do. So don't try to come to us and don't try to complain to us about how it makes you feel or how weird it is for you to try to explain it when we have to explain it easily 2 to 3 times to 4 times more often than you do. So, yeah. That's a thing. And don't do it because chances are, that's a good way to start a fight with someone who's transgender. So if you're somebody who looks for confrontation in a relationship, bam, there you go. Have fun with that one. And don't expect your relationship to last long if you're trying to look for confrontations like that because, woo, I'll tell you, especially from like my standpoint, if you're gonna freaking fight with me and I have to deal with like 30,000 things on top of the 50,000 things that I'm already dealing with, on top of like my life, my goals, my expectations of myself and my future, as well as my journey and my transitioning, I'm gonna drop you really quick. And I may not want to drop you, but you might make me want to drop you. And yeah, so just don't do that to any person who's transgender. Don't complain to them about something that they have likely dealt with a lot more often than you have. All right? Okay. Cool. And again, I'll just I'll cover up one more time, letting you guys know that if you are dating somebody who's transgender, if you are a straight guy and you're into this like trans woman, she's looking really pretty, she's got her makeup and everything like that, she's looking good, and you're like, girl, like, you're looking real nice. You're not gay. She's a woman. Same thing if you're a lesbian. If you're looking at this trans woman and you're like, she's looking so cute. Like, oh my god, I freaking love her. She has such a cute outfit, and oh my god, the way that she has those leggings on, oh my goodness. So freaking sexy. Wow. That doesn't mean that you're straight. You're still a lesbian. You're interested in a transgender woman. She's still a woman. Okay? Okay. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys had a wonderful time with me and you guys learned a little bit about dating a transgender person, and I hope this helped a few people who are trying to figure some stuff out, if they are interested in somebody who's transgender or if they just kind of want to learn a little bit more about their partner before going into that relationship. And as always, when you are dating somebody who's transgender, make sure you talk with them about some of that stuff, because chances are everyone's journey is different. What they want to do is very different. And it's really important to establish that connection and seeing how they want to handle the relationship and what makes them feel comfortable. Just like any relationship should function. It should be a lot of communication and a lot of understanding. And as long as you guys do that, you will always have a great time. So as long as you guys do that, you will... So as long as you guys do that, you will always have a great relationship, and you should do just fine. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Okay? Thank you guys. Bye-bye.